Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup.
Hey.
Hey, mate, how are you?
Nice. I like the shirt for off the rip. I like that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, classic.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. How you doing?
Yeah, good, man. For a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. No, Wednesday morning. See? It's Tuesday for you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, see?
Oh, that's great. This is time travel right here.
It is. There's something that's going to happen that I can't, man, but just wait, okay? I can't warn you about the future. Hey, where are you at? Like in the studio?
Yep, right now. So, kind of funny. Downstairs, we have rehearsals getting ready for our shows this weekend.
Yeah.
I happen to be the fun one where I'm like, hey, I'm going to go do these interviews real quick. So everybody else is building the rigs and doing all the technical stuff while I get to talk.
Oh, see, you get to hang out and come back and go, oh, geez, that was hard work, boys. Well, it's just, yeah.
I get to pretend like I'm my singer for one day.
Yeah.
Hey,
see, but I'm that dude. I'm that guy. But I always get stuck on the merch. I'm the merch. They're like, go do the merch, and I'm there for hours just winding the merch. Everyone's got their roles. But what
absolutely.
is this? Is it like your own space, like upstairs, downstairs?
So our front of house guy, his family owns basically like a sound rental company.
Yeah.
And this is a part of like we'll call it like a compound by their house. So in the warehouse, there's a giant practice spot outside where most of their big stages are at. I'm in Studio C, which is upstairs, small little like come here, do demos and stuff. Studio B is where we're going to be doing our rehearsals. So like where all of our racks live, where our lighting rig lives, everything else. So it's cool.
That's the dream, dude. You know, like that. What a cool little space. You know, you got it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, anyway, my name's Nev. Anyway, Damon, it's nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you as well, Nev.
Wrecking things here. But of course, the new Of Virtue EP, Sinner, has recently been released. And even though it's only 4 tracks, it hits hard, man. And people are absolutely loving this thing. Like it's climbing up the charts. People are just talking about it. Man, it must be a really good feeling after the last couple of years that you're coming out swinging, ready to hit it back again.
Oh, 100%. It's one of those feelings where beforehand, like we have been going nonstop. We've been touring, doing all this. But the nice thing about the pandemic, if there was a nice thing, like there was a lot of bad stuff as well.
Yeah.
But it gave us a chance to kind of be home for a second, really marinate, figure out, hey, is what we were doing the best representation of us, A, as a band, B, as people? And if not, how do we tweak it moving forward? Because, you know, I don't want to say like it was a popular piece of rhetoric, but it was something that some bands didn't really kind of take to heart, is like, if you're going to be off for this, like we had whole years of touring canceled. It's like when you do come back, you can't come back as the same band.
Yeah.
You can come back as a better version of whatever made you successful before, or if you hadn't quite reached where you wanted to go, which is where we kind of felt was, okay, you can have goals, you can have this, but at the end of the day, it's like, did we put enough of our personality into this? Have we told the stories that we wanted to tell? Are we able to connect to people in a way that we haven't before? And because of kind of some of like the tragedy that was going on throughout everything, it really made us reassess what was going on. It really made us kind of love and appreciate, not that we didn't before, but just playing music in this capacity is a privilege. It is not a right. You can have talent. You can have, all of the things in the world, but it's like, because we have been places across the world, we've seen different cultures, we've seen different climates, and we've been to places where like the economy doesn't allow for something like this. It's you're working to sustain, you're working to survive, and that's it. So when you visit places or you're able to like kind of touch people in those spots or you see what's going on, like an example, like we were in Serbia one year and we stayed at a gas station, and this is at the height of the Syrian refugee crisis, like
Yeah, yeah.
people just fleeing the country, seeing those tent cities, talking to people from places that are being displaced and all that, and it makes you realize like, hey, this could be taken away at any given time, and then it was.
Mm.
So now we put everything into perspective. It's like, you know what? If we are going to do this, if we are going to keep doing this, it's like put 100% of your body, mind, and soul. Not like we didn't, again, not like we didn't do it before, but it's just now you're going to do it in a way where the perspective has changed. It's more meaningful and can apply to so many, many more situations than it did before.
That's incredible, man. Like, not many bands get that opportunity to see both sides of the world like that, and as you said, it makes you appreciate what you're doing for sure. You know, some people do take that for granted. You know, pretty lucky to be out there playing and stuff, especially in this new world we're in now. I mean, things are starting to ease up over there a little bit, right? Like you in the
Yeah,
fest,
absolutely.
man. Have you been out on the road yet? I mean, I know you played a couple of shows.
No touring yet. Right now, we're just kind of, well, again, that was part of our approach too, where it's like we had just gotten out. We were one of those bands. We were road warriors. We would just take anything and everything, and you know, you could play to 5 people one night and 5,000 people the next night, and our attitudes stayed the same. We were out there to get our name out there. But at the end of like it was like about 4.5 year run. It's like we were burnt out, man. Like
Yeah.
that model of what we were doing, it wasn't sustainable. So in some ways, it's kind of like the world basically said, no, you guys need to sit down, figure out a better way of doing this. And it's like, in turn, you know, people talk about social media and, it being a tool and this and that. And it's like, no, we've ingrained ourselves more using that. So that way we could make better use of our time.
Mm.
That was kind of the cool thing with how this whole EP even came about is like we have met so many friends and writers and producers, engineers, people in other bands where when we were bored at home, we were just writing over the internet. We were sending demos back and forth, just doing little joke projects just to have fun, just kind of keep sane. But then it turned into, oh, this is actually pretty sick. You're showing me a different side of my band that I never thought could exist.
Yeah.
So why not? Let's put this all into focus. You know what I mean? And coming back to again, it's like there will be opportunities to tour. We're working on some stuff in the pipeline as I'm talking to you now, but it's like when we get there, we'll get there. In the meantime, we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing,
Yeah.
working smart, working hard, and talking to fine gentlemen like yourself. So
I don't know about fine at this time of morning, but hey, thank you for the compliment.
Hey man, coffee works wonders. Coffee works wonders.
It's getting there. It's getting there. But I just were you dropping a hint there? Were you dropping a little hint saying, when you get there, you're talking about down here where we are in the arse end of the in the world.
All
in
I'm saying
Australia.
all I'm saying is we managed to get to Japan. We managed to get to Southeast Asia. We've gotten close. We've gotten close.
Everyone says that.
We've gotten close. Hey, we got two out. All I can say, we're working hard. We're working hard.
Okay.
You guys, Australia is a bucket list place for me my entire life. I've played with plenty of people, with friends. I played in another band called For the Fallen Dreams, and Jim tells me all the time, he's like, Australia is one of the best places that I've had a chance and had the fortune of being able to go to. And I'm like, I'm super jealous, but don't worry. I will be in some way, shape, or form. You might just see me.
Hey, man.
You might just see me knock on your door.
Are you? No. Hey, man.
Hey.
Always there, man. It's always there. Because I hear it all the time. Bands will go, everywhere they get to Japan, it's like the border, right at the end, they go, and they don't come any further. And we're up here going, come on, man. But when you do, we'll make it worth your while, that's for sure. And hopefully that's going to be soon. That was one of my many questions that I had. But and we'd love to see you guys down here. Because I know you did some shows, was it recently with The Plot and You? boys?
Yes, we did. Yes, yes.
They're coming down here soon as well. So I mean, like, there's a
Oh,
few,
they're great.
yeah, a few bands doing the jump over. So hey, man, the front door's open. Just knock. We'll come in. We'll hang out. So, but until then, we've still got a lot to cover in
Still
regards
have
to
some work to do.
EP. Yeah, man. Like,
Yes.
you know, you dabbling a little bit of R&B and melodies and things like that you haven't before on this thing, which can be a risk for some bands, but you've just made it work and it sounds incredible. What influenced that?
That is, again, it's just kind of a little deep dive. I grew up, Michigan is the capital of Motown. It's soul music. That's the stuff that, before I learned what music really was, like my mom was playing that all the time, that jazz, blues. And one of the cool things, like when we were sitting down thinking about how we were going to write these songs or just, what we wanted to put into it, it's like, I still listen to R&B music. I still listen to pop music, country. Some people might not like to hear that, but sorry, it's kind of what it is. I like what I like, and I'm unapologetic about it. And
Good.
again, rock musicians, metal musicians, whatever the case may be, it's like we can be just as eclectic as other people, man. And it's like, let's just try it out. Like I was telling you before, like we work with so many different people. You're just firing off ideas. Let's try this thing. Let's try this thing. And it's like, that's how you push forward and you kind of create a sound that is your own, that is akin to you. That's a skin that you wear.
Mm.
And it could be something that, you look out into the musical ecosystem and you go, I just don't really hear much of this. Or I only hear it in this one way. Like when people think of like the more R&B style, you probably think of, people think of like Issues, or they think of, what Johnny Craig was doing, with Dance Gavin Dance and Omarosa and that kind of stuff, where it's more soft, it's more this. And it's like, no, it can still have an edge to it. It can still
Yeah.
be a battering ram if you apply it that way. It just most people don't think like, oh, it's because of these vocals that it needs to be this. It's like, no, try applying that with some of the heavier instrumentals and, just mix and match. And maybe you come up with something that is unique to you. And that's all we wanted to try to do, is make something for us where it's like, it's fresh to our ears. It's something we don't see a lot of. And it's fun to play, man. It just feels good. It just, at the end of the day, music should just feel good. You don't need to overanalyze it.
That's right. People do. And that's what I was saying. Like, people will put things into boxes and they'll stick to
Mm-hmm.
their box. But then again, and I mentioned this before, you check out their Spotify playlists and they'll have some of that stuff in there, but they don't want anyone to know about it. The thing is, yeah, everyone can see it. So, but I like it, man. I really, really like this EP. It's really, really good. And the lyrical content is really deep as well. To my understanding, deals with like addiction and recovery and going up against those monsters and overcoming them. Is that correct? To sum it up.
Absolutely. And just, yeah, there's a lot to it. There's the main themes. It's kind of this isolation. There's some social commentary in there as well, of just, especially this time, like how people were interacting with each other, while we've been at home, with all the world politics going on, especially here with our presidencies, with the elections, with how we handled COVID, how the individual states handled COVID, the division that the media creates in order to get their past their agendas, or to continue trying to, establish themselves or reestablish, ourselves in the world hierarchy of politics, when it includes Russia and it includes China, it includes India, Africa, like some lesser known things that, come into play, but it's like you have to distract your main population. The other things with police brutality and the racial division and tension that really was kind of played up. It always exists here. There's stories and things that, further down the line, I would love to, expound on and hopefully get the chance to with our music. But it's like, these are other things that we do, loosely touch on in the center EP. So it's, again, we had a chance to really, really dive deep and tell some stories and some things that we didn't have a chance to kind of do before. So
Is there more to it? Is this like part one of something else that you're working on? Did you go in and record more songs when you did this, or was it the complete focus was these 4 songs?
The complete focus was just writing the best songs we could, and we just kind of came to the conclusion of like, hey, right now, this is where we're at.
Mhm.
These four, it's like you kind of see the model of how some bands are releasing music, where it's like, you know, I'm not going to be a jerk and be like, oh, they want a 20 song album from us right now. It's like, no, let's kind of cultivate this, and especially because we're going through a change,
Yeah.
you do want to test the waters a little bit, where it's like, let's see how a song like Sinner does, or let's see how a song like Cold Blooded, which are, complete departures from what people would normally expect from us. We still have the bangers. We still have Hypocrite that comes in like a fucking 1,000 mile an hour wrecking ball. But
Riffage. A riffage, mate. It's so good. Like some of the man, when it's heavy, yeah, it slaps you around, eh? It's good. Real good.
absolutely, absolutely.
I love it. I love it. But of course, I mean, the band's been going since I believe 2008, and you've been there from the beginning. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
That's a
Yes,
long,
sir.
you know, that's a long time, and you've done a lot of stuff in that time. Looking back and to where the band is now and the struggle the last couple of years, like, what's your thoughts on all that? Like, and where you headed into the future? You know?
I think it's one of those where you touched on a little bit. Like, we've had a chance to do a lot of cool things in our band's career, but I almost feel like now is like that was us growing up. That was like you're kind of just going through it. You're playing shows. You're getting into the van with your best friends. You're just traveling the country. You're eating horrible food and getting no sleep. Again, playing shows to 17 people one day, zero people, just the promoters, getting ran out of parking lots, all the things that we like to do as delinquents. But then you start to, you get a sense of more of the business side, and you kind of start to take it seriously because the songs get better, the stories get a little more elaborate, and now it's like moving forward. I couldn't be more excited with where we're at, because it's the notion or the thing of, if I knew now but could apply it to how, like back then, it's like, no, we're here for this reason right now. We know what we know, and we know how to apply it in every single way. We're pressing all of the right buttons, and I think the results are going to speak for themselves.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And in regards to touring and stuff like that, you said the boys are down there building the rig. Is that like all the
They,
ears and stuff like that?
oh yeah, you know how bands are nowadays. No one just plugs into an amp anymore and just
Yeah.
plays. It's like we have an in-ear setup, we have our own front of house, we have a lighting rig. It's a like it's kind of funny. On my way over here, one of my buddies was like, "Oh, what are you guys using for a rig now?" I was like, "Well, I got about like 12 grand worth of what could be classified as computer software in my car right now." So more than an actual guitar rig. I remember I showed my mom what she's like. So what do you play? Like, what do you play out of? Because I never see anything on stage. I was like, ah, you're right. I hear it, and you guys hear it, but it's like it's magic. That's probably what I just said. I should have just said it was magic.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you got the droid out the back. Is it like in a big like
Exactly.
road case thing? We're heading that
Yeah,
way.
we have a couple. We have it split up so that way it's easier to kind of shoehorn into the venue, so we're not taking up just everybody's space. Try to be as economic as possible, and then that way too, like whenever we fly, it's like then we can take it to the airline, and hopefully they don't lose it. So
Have you got a backup plan for that? Like, look, I don't want to jinx anybody here, but I have seen it though. I saw, was it Starset when they toured here? Had everything in this rig, and something happened between there to here, and it all just went haywire. They couldn't get it all because it not only their suits, the lights in their suits, and the sound,
yeah,
everything like that. So they were scrambling around. They ended up getting it going, but like it was full on, dude. I felt so bad for those dudes. What do you do in those situations? Just
you have plan B and you have plan C all the way through Z. It's just you have to plan as if something is going to go wrong.
mm,
Like, this is a message to any band that, even if you're just traveling locally, this doesn't even have to be international. It could just be, always have a backup plan. Like, if you are going to play on, an in-ear system or anything else, it's like, make sure you have a backup laptop. If you do have ears, make sure you have two sets of ears, because you never know. One of those could go out at a show and you'll need the backup. Or, if you have a chance to talk to your front of house, if you're on ears, like, hey, don't strike the wedges from the thing just in case. In case they need to pump something through there. It's all, case dependent, but just whatever you're comfortable with. It's just plan A, B, C, D, and down the line, because the one thing that is probably the hardest truth is what can go wrong will 100% go wrong.
Wrong, mate.
And are you going to be left with your fucking, just up shit's creek, or are you going to be able to pivot and go, okay, cool, we planned for this.
Yep.
Let's just, move to this next thing.
And always take extra batteries.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm the guy who's got the wireless microphone that goes, oh, fuck. I need battery. Who's got the batteries? And I'm running around, and then I have to like bolt to the corner shop and spend, 3 times as much for batteries just for the show. I'm that guy. Sorry, dudes. But yeah. Good way to do it. You got to do it. But of course, I mean, EP's killer. You got all these plans coming up behind the scenes. But what about more recording? Have you got more tracks that you're working on recording behind the scenes there?
Oh yeah, with all these lovely instruments and everything. Oh yeah, every day, man. We're always working, always jamming little ideas and just trying to, again, experiment a little more, see how far we can push the sound, see how far we can go, because people enjoy Sinner, man. People have really messed with it. And it was one of those things. It's kind of taken us aback a little bit. Like, we thought there was going to be a little more blowback than what it was, but it was like, no. Yeah. People were like, no, we want more. We want more of this. And I was like, okay. I didn't have we kind of had a plan B, but it was like, okay, no, we might just have to keep. Yep, exactly.
Man, that's
just
super.
Test the waters a little bit.
Man, I can't wait to hear what you guys do next. It's super exciting. That and the Australian tour you got coming up. It's going to be awesome. Hey,
whoever's listening to this, any promoters in Australia, get us there.
Jump on that. Because we'd love to see you. Hey, barbecues and all the things down here. All the things that
is it true that so we toured with Make Them Suffer?
Yes.
And Jordan, the drummer, he goes, I had a kangaroo that lived in my driveway that would not move, and he was really mean. I was like, oh no. I was like, what do you mean by mean? He goes, he would sit in my driveway every day, and I had to like drive around him. And I was like, seriously? He's like, yeah. And I was like, and you can't do anything about it. He's like, I mean, what? I'm not going to get punched by a kangaroo. Like, the thing will kill me. I was like, yeah, you're right, I guess.
Have you seen them, dude? Some of the big
I've never seen a kangaroo.
Ripped, dude. They are like ripped. They're like, yeah. I mean, that's how we get our mail delivered down here, So you don't want to piss them off. They put the mail in the pouch and they go around, the drop bears. Have they told you about the drop bears?
Mm-mm.
Ooh, okay. When you get this call, look up drop bears. Yeah. We can't go outside. We can't. You never walk under a tree here without looking up drop bears. Look them up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everything can kill you. Everything. But anyway, no, but it's true. There is lots of things, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad, But I could tell you some stories, mate. Yeah, you're gonna love it, man. When you guys get down here, you're gonna have the absolute best time, and we can't wait to see you. In the meantime, Sinner is out everywhere. We're gonna have the links down here. Everyone go out there, get it, buy some merch, because the shirts are sick too. That's all this, man.
Oh,
merch is so good.
Thank you very. Please buy them all, because I don't know how it's taken us years for me to get a shirt with my face on it, with all of our faces. You're rocking the Fear Factory shirt, and it's like those, like, I love, like, just metal, just like that was the sick, like when you had like the Limp Bizkit and the Korn and the Slipknot shirts back in the day, and it's just like it's so awesome. So yes, please, everybody, buy all of our t-shirts.
Yeah, do
every single one of them.
Do it. Buy them all, and then they can come down here in Australia. Got to pay for that. Yeah,
and sell more t-shirts.
And sell more t-shirts. That's it.
Maybe I'll sell one to a kangaroo.
Yeah, that's it for the mail service. They do. They you can't go. I believe that story that because you can't move them. They're like hectic. They will get you real bad, but they're real gentle. They're really like we go to like parks and stuff here. Like wildlife parks, and they are just
Yeah.
lazy. They're just lazy, big, giant things. You can go up and just pat them and stuff. You just don't go near their babies, and they'll be all right. So maybe that was the case.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, they're real protective of like the joeys, but apart
Hmm.
from that, they'll just lay there. Just go, I don't care. You're like, hey man, I gotta, they're like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm here. This is mine now. Great. They're great.
Because they know they know they can rip your head off at any point. So they're just like,
They can. Yeah, yeah. They never skip leg day, brother. They never skip leg day. So that's enough of me.
oh,
Oh no, this is what happens this time of morning. But thank you so much for hanging out on the show. It's been so good to talk to you. We will see you very, very soon. Take care and go make some noise, my man.
I will do that. Thank you very much for having me, man.
No worries. Take care, dude. See ya.
You too. Thank you.